in their places in the higher planetary systems. 61. Text number translation. The bedding in the palace was as white as the foam of milk and was very soft. The bedsteads were made of ivory with embellishments of gold, and the chairs, benches, and other sitting places and furniture were made of gold. Now, 62. Text number. Yatra spahatika kudeshu mahamarkateshu cha mani pradeepa abhiyanti lalana ratna samyutaha. Translation. The palace of the king was surrounded by walls made of marble, with many engraving made of valuable jewels like sapphires, which depicted beautiful women with shining jewel lamps in their hands. Purport. The description of King Uttanapada's palace depicts the state of affairs many hundreds and thousands of years ago, long before Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled. Since it is described that Maharaj Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years, he must have lived in the Satya Yuga, when people lived for 100,000 years. The life duration in the four yugas are also mentioned in the Vedic scriptures. In the Satya Yuga, people used to live for 100,000 years. In the Treta Yuga, people lived for 10,000 years. In Dwapar Yuga, they lived for 1,000 years. And in this age, Kali, people may live up to 100 years. With the progressive advance of each new yuga, the duration of human life is reduced by 90%, from 100,000 to 10,000, from 10,000 to 1,000, and from 1,000 to 100. It is said that Dhruva Maharaj was the great grandson of Lord Brahma. This indicates that Dhruva Maharaj's time was in Satya Yuga, in the beginning of creation. During one day of Brahma, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, there are many Satya Yugas. According to Vedic calculation, at the present moment, the 28th millennium is current. It can be calculated that Dhruva Maharaj lived many millions of years ago, but the descriptions of the palace of Dhruva's father is so glorious that we cannot accept that advanced human civilization did not exist even 40 or 50,000 years ago. There were walls like those in the palace of Maharaj Uttanapada, even very recently during the Mughal period. Anyone who has seen the Red Fort in Delhi must have marked that the walls are made of marble and were once decorated with jewels. During the British period, all these jewels were taken away and dispatched to the British Museum. The conception of worldly opulence was formerly based mainly on natural resources such as jewels, marble, silk, ivory, gold, and silver. The advancement of economic development was not based on big motor cars. Advancement of human civilization depends on the industrial enterprises, does not depend on industrial enterprises, but on possession of natural wealth and natural food, which is all supplied by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we may save time for self-realization and success in the human form of body. Another aspect of this verse is that Dhruva Maharaj's father, Uttanapad, would very soon give up attachment for his palaces and would go to the forest for self-realization. From the descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam, therefore, we can make a rough, thorough, comparative study of modern civilization and the civilization of mankind in the other millenniums, such as Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya चक्षुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपिशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णापृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चाते देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते कदम कानन स्वामी नामिने. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So here we are continuing reading from this beautiful pastime where Dhruva Maharaj has successfully succeeded in his bhakti and he has attained the prema. Now he's coming back to his father's palace, which is his palace too. He's coming back home, and during his coming back home from today's this 5 sets of verses, not much philosophical discussions are there, but here beautifully the descriptions is there how people used to live in bygone ages in a very opulent way. I mean, whoever hears all these pastimes from the Vedic scriptures, such as Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas, they can't believe how can in Kali Yuga people are struggling, or a husband is struggling to buy a gold chain for his wife or a gold bangles for his wife, a set of gold bangles. But this, if you read the scriptures, even the gold were there in their beds, and even the animals, cows, horses, elephant, they were wearing gold. So what to speak about the ladies of the palace? The opulent of these kings, they were so higher that in today's modern era, no one can imagine. Even we can see that during the COVID period, when everything was shut down, then people were completely dependent upon the natural resources such as grains, rice, wheat, milk, yogurt, and whatever they have proud of their modern technologies and civilization, they were just going away. It can't help them. Even in the pandemic, we can see that, on the television, we have seen there two parties are just fighting for the toilet tissue paper because it's not enough on the shelf, and they are just fighting because the person who grabbed first, he just grabbed more. For other person, nothing is there to grab it. So they were just fighting for the food, fighting for the toilet tissue paper, fighting for the water, fighting for this and that. But as we can see here, those who have natural resources and these things are completely there, and they were throwing on the streets. When Maharaj Dhruva, he was just walking towards in palace on his street, and all the ladies, they were welcoming him, those who were seniors, as elderly equal to his mothers. They were just throwing some barley, some curds, some rice, some flowers and fruits on the street just for welcoming him. And sandalwood water they were sprinkling, or rose water they were sprinkling. I mean, people are hardly taking shower nowadays with just a normal water. Way to speak about adding sandalwood water or rose water and just throwing them on the street. And we can see in Canto 10, Dwarka. Dwarka city is, or Dwarka, Vrindavan, and many other dhams, they were during Krishna's time, they were being sprinkled and water and cleaned by rose water and sandalwood water. I mean, we can see the opulent, and whenever the Lord Krishna comes, he just goes out of the city and come back to the city. All the ladies, just for welcoming him, they were throwing rice and barley and yogurt and milk on just on the street for welcoming the road. And here the same thing has happened. I mean, people hardly they can imagine that these things were possible. Yes, it was possible. As we can see, even the tribal, even those who are tribal community, they are living somewhere in America, in Australia, in China. If you see their community, there are hardly 4,000, 5,000 people are there. Okay, and they all live in the forest. Yes, and if you see their lifestyle in their community or in their area where they live, there is no hospital, there is no police station, there is no Supreme Court, there is no pharmacy, there is no police station, or there is no nothing else. They know how to live properly. Why do we need hospitals? Because people do not know how to eat and what to eat and when to eat. Okay, people not getting along with in their relationship, either as a husband wife, either as a father and son, either as a brothers, siblings, or relatives, or with other neighbors. Quarrel is there. Okay, and pharmacy, medicines, it's the same thing. Schools and colleges, nothing. But these things are not there in the tribal people area. Why do we need these things? Because people, they don't know how to live their life. And as a modern education, or you can see the government, they're emphasizing, now we have got so many schools, now we have got so many hospitals, now we have got so many police stations for other safety, because people, they are illiterally, they are educated illiterate people, even though they know what they not should do, but still they are doing it, and they are giving disharmony in the society, either in their life or in the society or somewhere else. But if you see all these tribals people, they live so simply. They don't have fancy cars. They don't have fancy mobiles. They don't have fancy gadgets, no television, nothing, no fridge. They are living simply. But if you see their relationship, they are so strong. They keep value the relationship. Okay, they don't value the artificial products of this material life. No, they just value each other. They respect each other. They know what to eat. They know what not to eat, or when to eat, when not to eat. If you see in our older time, our grandma or great grandma, when they all used to live in the rural area, in the village where there is no light at all, they are completely dependent upon the nature. Okay, and after 4 or 5 o'clock, they know very well. Even the Ayurveda also says that after the sunset, we should not eat. We should completely, because it affects our digestion. Anna, it's only been eaten when there is a sunlight. So it helps to digest, but whoever eats after the sunset, they know it takes longer time. That's why people are having so many health issues, constipation, this problem, that problem. So it's just going on in our life. But if you see in older times, people used to know that okay, now the sun is going to be set, so let's finish our dinner on time and let's go back to sleep. And they early go back to sleep, and automatically they early get up around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the night, and they have a sufficient sound sleep. And when they get up early in the morning, they do their morning duties and just take their cows or take their breakfast, take their cows and goats and buffaloes or whatever oxes. They just go to the agricultural field and do their daily agriculture work. And they come back on time and they spend their time with their family. And whatever they earn, they keep it for themselves, and rest they just sell it, or they do the barter system with other households. So that was the simple lifestyle. But now here we can see that having technologies, new lifestyle, new working lifestyle, and there was nothing a so-called night shift. Okay, people only used to work in the day, and the evening and afternoon they used to spend time with their family members. But now we can see that there is no time, there's no fixed time. People are working day and night like a dog. Why? Just call it for one thing. The desires are not being satisfied, whatever they are accumulating by their own karma. Because they're just becoming greedy and greedy and greedy and greedy more day by day, day by day. That's why we are putting ourselves in so many problems. Like there was no such thing where a ladies used to go outside the house to work. No, they were always inside the chamber of the house. Okay, whatever the husband or any elderly member they just bring when they go outside to earn, and they are fully satisfied with that. But now we can see that everyone is out. Everyone is out. By reading in today's scriptures here, we can see all these things. The the father's palace, which had walls bedecked with highly valuable jewels, people doesn't even know. People not even have heard these names of all these jewels, sapphires, ruby, and many other things. They were unheard. They were always existing, and they were actually natural coming out from the ocean. People only used to take whatever they need in their life, but they were not greedy at all. If you read in our scripture Upanishad called Shri Ishopanishad, where it says, Tena taktena bhunjita ma gardha kasya swadhana. We only allowed to take whatever is quota allotted to us by the Supreme Lord, and we should not take it. And many times, Srila Prabhupada, in his lecture, when he was giving on this particular shloka, he was mentioning very carefully, when there is a bag rice outside in the street, a bird comes, a bird eats, and bird goes eats, and she leaves the bag and she goes away. A dog comes or a cat comes, they eat, they go away. But a human comes, he eats the rice and he takes the bags away. And we can see that, the scarcity is not the food, scarcity is not the water, scarcity is not anything in this material world. It's only the scarcity is Krishna consciousness, because people are not trained properly what to do in their life, because these scriptures are the manual for their life or for our life, including ourselves. These are the manuals. How should we live? What is our quota? What is not our quota? How much we respect to other, not just as a human, other living entity too, because they also have a right to eat. They also have a right to live. But what we are doing, we are just messing up this whole natural material, this whole nature. We are messing up with the nature. That's why nature is punishing us back. Why? If you read in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes, when people are crossing their limits, especially humans, because there is no other living entity in 8.4 million species of life. It's only human animal is there, or human species of life is there. They are only crossing their limits. There is nobody else in other species of life, they are crossing their limits. Okay, we can see if there are animal, birds, aquatics, trees, anything we see it, they do everything on a seasonal way. If they have to produce children, so season is there. If they have to eat, they only eat what is meant for them to eat. They do not touch others. But we as a human, we are eating meat, we are eating, vegetables, fruits, and meals, and many other nonsense things which we're not supposed to eat. So, do you think that nature will, spare us? No, it will not spare us. Nature has a way to balance everything. That's why you can see there's so many wars are happening for last 5, 6, 10 years. Why is it happening? Because when we mess up with the nature, nature is the mother, and mother knows how to correct the children. That's why the nature is punishing all the countries or all the people, those who have messed up with them. Because when we do sinful activity, we do not remember either in this life or in our next life. But nature, the laws of material nature, it doesn't forget. All our activities are being accountable and documented in our account. And when the right time will come, it will be fructify either in an individual way, either in a group, either in a state, or either in a country, or either in the world. So everybody has to bear and suffer from that. Okay. And see here in the 62 number shloka, where Prabhupada writes ki why day by day this all the ages are the age of the humans are just declining. And in Kali Yuga, people supposed to maybe they're supposed to live for 100 years. But as you can see, that people are celebrating their 40th years, 50th and 60 years. Maximum they can only live with that one. We have never ever heard, I mean, since my childhood, we have never ever heard about anything, somebody is getting disease in the womb or coming out with a problem. No, it is just happening nowadays, because whatever we are associating with this material nature in the form of mobile devices, television, plasmas, or anything else, it's completely affecting our body. Anything has a infrared rays, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi. Anything is there which is subtle, which we cannot see. It's deteriorating all over health. If you know that in some years back, when this mobile towers was being planted in the society, and there was a survey happened that many sparrows, the species sparrow, they are existing. They are not there anymore. Slowly they are just being killed, because when this one tower to another tower, when this ray is there, and whenever any bird passes through, it just kills them. It just takes their life away. And slowly we can see how the more it is going to 4 GB, 5 GB, or 6 GB, they all are coming, and this is becoming more harmful. Just touching devices next to the body itself is a very harmful to the body. But we are not thinking in a such way. We're thinking this material thing which gonna make our life easier. No, it making our life shorter, and it making our life more worse here. And Prabhupada writes in the purport here that people, okay, this has been there in a Satya Yuga, and in the time of Swambhuva Manu, which is like the first one, and now we are in the sixth or seventh one. Okay, and we can expect that what is happening here. Prabhupada gives an example. If anybody has seen to Red Fort in Delhi, that even the 300, 400 years back, the kings used to have all these jewels on the walls. What to speak about in a Satya Yuga? Those jewels was already there. But what happened during the British time? During the British times, all the Britishers came and they were trying to rule India. So they took away everything. They took away the Kohinoor. They just took away all the expensive sword. Their handles were smeared with all these jewels, expensive gold and silver and everything. And whatever they could just steal it, they just stole it, everything. And I just saw just 2 days back, I just saw one of the documentary that Britishers, they were proud of, having all these museums having with the expensive jewels, which people never ever have seen it, and they put a charge a ticket if you want to come and see those Kohinoor jewels and many other jewels, or a sword, expensive shields and dresses which has been sewn by the golden thread. Please come and pay for it. But this lady, she was giving a commentary that this does not belong to them, and the history knows, and everybody, all of us knows that that doesn't belong to British people. Okay, they belong to India during 1947, 45. During those period, they just stole everything and put it back, or took it back to British there. Even the ivory, we can see ivory is made of elephant teeth. If you do elephant, if you just go and buy anything, from the elephant teeth, first of all, it's illegal. Second thing, it's quite expensive. But in prior days, it was completely very, very easy. But nowadays, a modern man can say that, yes, I have all these things, but this is all artificial. This is all not real. They are completely not natural. You know, it doesn't give any benefit to us. Keeping all this ivory, keeping all these jewels, they all been considered the sign of a rich man, means, and they also are auspicious in our life. But nowadays we are only gathering plastic things, plastic or a metal or an iron. If you see, I mean, even the beds now, the earlier days, in my time, or of course your time too, our home beds used to be made of wood, which used to last for 100, 200 years. Like, we say this bed been made by our grandfather, great grandfather. But nowadays, all the beds are made of plastics and iron, just assemble it. And that, after 1 week or a 6 week or a 6 month, they just break down. So where is the opulence? Opulence is not there. And if we are proud of our motor car, Tesla, any other fancy things car, people used to have mystic powers, and they used to have, Pushpak Viman, which is being decorated, and they used to run not on a diesel or a petrol or a gas or an electric charge. They used to run with the speed of their mind. When they chant the mantra, there is no bother to do minor service, major service, change the tire, change the fuel, change the ignite system, headlight, this and that. But no, they used to have their natural, Pushpak Viman, a vehicle, where they used to fly from, not from one state to another, from one country to one planet to another planet, and they used to run by the speed of a mind here. Okay, so it's not much here in today's 4 or 5 shloka. It is just descriptions of the opulent of King Uttanapada. And very shortly in the future, we will find out that after having all this opulent, after having, he was not only just a king for a state or for a country, he was the emperor. He was the emperor of the 3 worlds. But after having so much opulent, Maharaj Uttanapada, he was not proud of at all, because he knows he's in his householder life. Okay, he has his duty to take care of his wife and children. But now, when the right time has come, in the purport of the last of text number 62, Prabhupada writes that in the future he's planning, because now his son is grown up now. Maharaj Dhruva, he's now grown up, become a prince. Now he's going to take over the kingdom, becoming as a king. Now King Uttanapada, he's planning to go to the forest and look for the self-realization, which he didn't get much during his householder life. I mean, we can see that these are the descriptions. They are eye-opener in our life. How much wealth do we have? One house, two house, one car, two heart, some property here, some property there. But how much wealth they do have? But they know these all are temporarily. They need to go as the body will go away. Okay, but now he's planning to go to the forest and give up all the attachment to his family members, including his wife, children, assets, wealth, and family members, whoever they are, because they know I got this human birth, I just got this form just to go for self-realization, and I missed out. Now I'm gonna go there. So we need to take the lessons from all these kings. They had so much, they gave up on their right time. And now, if we are crossing 50, 55, 60, so we should also have a plan. Okay, let's now winding up whatever wealth we have, just survive, and whatever time we have left, let's look and go fast in our spiritual life. There is no leniency, because we were so busy taking care of kids, children, house, properties, and many others. But now all the kids are grown up. They're gonna take care of themselves. Now it's my time to be serious because we don't know when the last time going to become. Okay, I'll stop here and see if anybody has any question. Only 3 minutes to go. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Lot of informations. I was just meditating when you were saying nowadays in modern age, everybody has everything, like all the gadgets and all that. But by our dear Srila Prabhupada, we at least we understood we are using our gadgets like since morning, early morning to night for the like listening and joining the classes. And again, our that people are eating which like nonsense things which we should not eat. So at least in this parampara, we came to know. And
Hmm.
as you mentioned last point, we should wind up after certain age. And so maybe everybody is thinking, oh, we have to go somewhere like Mayapur or Vrindavan. So like feeling like gratitude for dear Srila Prabhupada. In this
Hmm.
succession, we got this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And every day we are getting from our association, from our congregation, from different lectures and all that.
Yeah.
So just feeling gratitude inside. So wanted to
Yeah.
share.
Yeah, Mataji, this gadget, we supposed to control them, but
Mm,
now these gadgets are controlling us.
yeah.
Even the Shastra also say Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe Yuktam Vairagya Uchyate. If anything, if you can use in the service of Krishna, that is Vairagya, Yukta Vairagya, which is good. But we need to think how much we are using in the service of Lord and how much we are using in our own sense gratification. It is there. We are using like this laptop, Wi-Fi is there, Zoom is there, but how much we are only using for in the service of the Lord and how much in our own thing. Yeah, which is nice. We need to make plans, and plan has to be, implicated, not just a plan in the mind or on the paper. It has to become practical in the life.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, if it's not there, so thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead, a week filled with festivities. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme God by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
Sino Singo, Jaina Singo, Jai Jaina Singo, Praladesha, Jaya Padma,
Jaya
Padma Bringam. Ugravira Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukam Nrsimham Vishanam Vedram Nityam Nityam Namami Ham Nrsimha Bhagwan ki Jai, Prahlad
Jai.
Maharaj ki Jai. Miss date today we'll be celebrating the Adivas ceremony in the evening from 8:30 to 9. You're all welcome at the temple. And there'll be a lot of services in the evening, decoration, uh, preparations for tomorrow's cookings, and all those. So if you are available, please make yourself available. Um, Tomorrow, the biggest festival, Gaur Purnima, fasting till moonrise. And the program tomorrow is from 6 to 9 in the evening. But devotees on the call are most encouraged to attend Mangala Aarti on the New Year, starting at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Okay, anything else? I'd like to offer our obeisances to all the devotees of the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhaya kripa sindhu bhaya vacha patitanam pavane bhaya vaishnavebhyo namo. Now Vaishnava ki jai.
Jai.
ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय।
जय।
ला प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
God,
What time?
Hari Hari.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Nice class. Thank you,
Hare
Hari.
Prabhu, what time cooking?
Cooking on Gaur Purnima will start at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hare.
Thank you, Prabhuji.